make one thing very, very, very clear. We are going to do everything in our power to make sure Kamala Harris doesn't win. Vote for, if you want Donald Trump to win, say that. Bitch, I will vote for Satan if I have to. Remember, no one's free until we're all free. And we can't protect ourselves if we can't protect each other. This is the time for all the minorities, all the movements, all the working class to come together and really build power and really fight against the fascism that's been here, but finally popping its head out and being loud and proud about it. And unless we do something, really come together, it's gonna get real bad.
Save your own country first. What country? You think America is a country? That's scary. This, what you're living in, is a business. A business that profits off of poor people, sick people, corruption. Kamala Harris would know about that. Maybe you should ask her. But the reason this quote-unquote country is in the place as it is now is because of people like you. If Palestine's not free, nobody's free.
Black people also wear a uniform and get on a plane and come to our countries and kill us. You vote the same fucking melanated fucking people into government that sign papers to kill us. I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to hear it. You are our colonizers. I do not want to fucking hear it.
I want Kamala Harris to go to bed every single night petrified. I want her to be shaking in her boots every single night she goes to bed. I want her to be experiencing maximum anguish, maximum discomfort. I want her to be so fearful that she potentially might not be elected into office. But you support genocide. You support genocide. Genocide does not upset you. You do not have a fucking soul. And
so the genocide is still happening. Trump won. It got worse. Now what?
She has one goal, and it's to get into office. You told her in no uncertain terms that she doesn't have to work for it. So she took you at your word. She's not working for it. She's letting her frustration get the best of her. And
these are the people that are saying that they go after Trump the same way. And they fully fucking believe that. But if you go to their pages, they're actually saying to vote for Trump. That they'd rather have Trump than Kamala Harris. So why are y'all trying to rewrite history? Stop it.
So I'm finding out that a lot of Muslims voted for Donald Trump. Like, are you serious? Oof. Like, you guys are forgetting that you guys are on the travel ban. Like, you guys are playing pick me, pick me, pick me. You guys are on a travel ban. Like, your country cannot come in. Like, are you serious? Oof!
You all tell me if you remember the following.
Vote for Jill, vote for Donald Trump. But do not give a vote to Kamala Harris and expect to be welcomed by my community.
So that was a member of the Muslim American community there in Dearborn, Michigan, who told us if we voted for Kamala Harris, that we were not welcome in their community. And that was because of stances over Gaza.
I came home the day I met Trump, and I gave my son a MAGA hat, and I said, I guess we're there. And he said, ew. His first words to me were, ew. I said, but Baba, he said he's gonna stop the war. And he said, okay, that's it. Give me that hat. We're voting for Trump.
Because Arab Americans and Muslim Americans voted for Donald Trump or stayed out of the election by voting for Jill Stein, and in general because other races voted so much less for Kamala Harris than black women and black men, who were at above 90% and above 80% respectively, I have seen so many people in the comments of so many videos saying, good luck, fight for Palestine on your own, I'm going to Starbucks, I'm done fighting for this movement, and win it without us. Don't ask black men and women to get involved in this anymore. It's your problem. You didn't stand up for us. We're not going to stand up for you. To be clear, I think this is going to be the biggest loss to the pro-Palestinian movement after the fact that y'all just elected Donald Trump, a man who says that he will happily let Israel completely roll over Gaza, that he wants to use, property in Gaza for a beach resort, etc., etc. Netanyahu isn't even trying to hide the fact that now he can do whatever he wants. He's not even willing to negotiate a ceasefire. And we're... So when I say that the pro-Palestine movement just lost, I cannot actually tell you by how much. Because I don't think there's going to be a strong pro-Palestine movement in the US anymore, or even globally, because black men and women have always been at the forefront of that, and they are very rightfully saying, I quit, this is your problem now. Follow me if you're a superhero for more analysis about what's going on in the world right now. Weirdly, my videos are getting locked, so if you see this, please check out the last video that I did.
Arab Americans for Trump just announced that they will be changing their name to Arab Americans for Peace after Donald Trump proposed taking over Gaza and redeveloping it to turn it into the Riviera of the Middle East. So here's what the group's leader said as to why they are dropping the for Trump from their name and changing it to for peace. Quote, "The talk about what the president wants to do with Gaza, obviously, we're completely opposed to the idea of the transfer of Palestinians from anywhere in historic Palestine. And so we did not want to be behind the curve in terms of pushing for peace because that has been our objective from the very beginning. Yet, if that was your objective from the beginning, then why were you supporting a guy who wanted to enact a Muslim ban and who was so transparently obvious, inciting completely against the Palestinian people? Like, whether or not you supported Kamala Harris was one thing, but there is no denying that she was more benevolent to the Palestinian people than Donald Trump. It's unfortunate that it took Donald Trump saying he wants to level Gaza for this group to realize that supporting Donald Trump may not have been in the best interests of the Palestinian people."
Right quick, you all tell me if you remember the following.
Vote for Jill, vote for Donald Trump. But do not give a vote to Kamala Harris and expect to be welcomed by my community.
So that was a member of the Muslim American community there in Dearborn, Michigan, who told us if we voted for Kamala Harris, that we were not welcome in their community. And that was because of stances over Gaza, right? Well, yeah, this is going to be kind of awkward. Hold on.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it and be responsible.
Hold on. He's not finished.
People of the area do a real job, do something different. Just can't go back. If you go back, it's going to end up the same way it has for 100 years.
So this your man's, right? This your man's here talking about turning a demolition site into the Riviera of the Mideast. And those of us who stood with you, you told us we wouldn't welcome in your community if we didn't vote for your mans here, or Jill Stein, right? Question, where's Jill Stein now? Well, she doesn't seem to be answering the phone right now. And while I will never be okay with the carpet bombing of children, I will say this. If you all need any help in the community you told us we wasn't welcome to, since Jill Stein isn't answering, remember, you can always call Ghostbusters.
Has anybody heard from the Muslim leaders from Hamtramck and Dearborn, Michigan? The mayor of Hamtramck, you know, the one that started praising and kissing Donald Trump's ass just before the election, and said because of Trump's promise to protect Gaza and the Palestinians, everybody should vote for Donald Trump. And he got a whole lot of the Muslim community around Detroit to vote for Donald Trump. I'm just wondering if anybody heard from those leaders. I mean, after Donald Trump came and made the token visit to tell them sweet lies so that they could sell out their own people, they went on the local news channels and told Detroiters, vote for Donald Trump, don't vote for Kamala Harris. Because he stands for Palestine, he stands for peace in that whole conflict. And you could see the sliminess of these leaders, these men who persuaded much of their community to vote for Trump. Has anybody heard from them? I just want to know, has anybody heard? Because Trump barely won Michigan. Had they not followed these shady, slimy leaders, those in the Muslim community, maybe Kamala Harris would have at least won Michigan. But I just want to know, where are they? They're not on our news stations tonight talking about Donald Trump's press conference to take over Gaza. They're not on the news channels here in Detroit. They were all over the place, just like that, when they could be to promote Donald Trump. But where are they tonight? I want to know where the fuck they are.
There are 3 points I want to make. The first is that if you are racist, Palestine doesn't need you, nor do they want you. Because Palestine is about liberating Palestinians, but also it's about liberating all people. If you are here only to liberate Palestinians and you don't care about anyone else, you are exacting the same form of racism that Zionists are doing to Palestinians. It is literally the same thing. They just do it worse. They're just worse. But it's still the same concept. You cannot say, freedom for Palestine, freedom for Palestine. I don't give a fuck about black people. They're this, they're that. And talk shit about them. It doesn't work that way. And mind you, black people are harmless. They do not hurt other people. They don't sit there bombing countries. And then the second point I want to make is, where is your integrity? To go talk crap about black people and then ask them to speak up for Palestine, and then on top of that shame them if they don't speak up for Palestine. Like, you're weird. The third point I want to make is people that use the hashtag Palestinian Lives Matter. That is not your hashtag to use. That belongs to black people. Have some integrity, honestly. Even though I fully support the notion of speaking against settler colonialism, I also believe that it needs to happen in a certain way. The path towards ending settler colonialism has to be clean and pure. It cannot be tainted with aspects of settler colonialism. And yes, when you are shaming the black community or any other community per se, you are engaging in what the Zionists do, and that defeats the purpose. And again, it brings me back to the point of, you should not be here just to save Palestine or just to save the Arabs and then not give a crap about anybody else, because we're all equal, we all matter. Okay, I'm Arab doesn't mean I'm only going to care about Arabs. I care about everybody. That is our duty to our fellow human beings. And I'll just add a little small thing. I am a teacher. I'm a grade 1 teacher. I teach at a school where the students are predominantly from East Africa. So they're mostly black, mostly from Somalia. And I will tell you that the black community has been the most amazing community to work with. I will never understand why people act like, being black is a bad thing. I think dark skin is beautiful. It's amazing. It looks great. I don't see the problem with it. And sorry, but black women are much prettier than us. I said what I said. And it's really sad. I keep hearing stuff like, they need to get over it. Slavery happened like 100 years ago. And I'm hearing these comments like, whoa, people are really bitter. Like, they don't have lives, honestly. And then you hear stuff like, why don't they get over it? Okay, things happened. Slavery happened, but it was like 100 years ago. There aren't any structural inequalities anymore. It's like, no, there still are. They designed the world to benefit white people and to disadvantage people of color, specifically black people. It is literally documented. And asking somebody to get over slavery, like, dude, you can't even get over somebody tailgating you. And you're asking them to get over hundreds of years of slavery, of being caged. Like, some people really shouldn't like. Yeah. I mean, when you think about it, if you really had a life, if a person really has a life, would they have time to sit there and hate on black people? And what they do and they don't do? Like, focus on yourself, bro. I'm a Palestine supporter, and there were a few very important things I'd like to discuss. I've been hearing horror stories about how some, not all, some Palestine supporters are treating members of the black community. They're basically making fun of them, talking crap about them, and then, get this, after all that, having the audacity to ask them to speak up for Palestine. That is shameful. It is absolutely disgusting. And mind you, these people that are doing all this racist nonsense are literally like, they would never show up for black people. And they're asking black people to show up for Palestine. Like, are you stupid? Is there a screw loose up here? Like,
remember, no one's free until we're all free. And we can't protect ourselves if we can't protect each other. This is the time for all the minorities, all the movements, all the work.
But didn't you...
We are going to do everything in our power to make sure Kamala Harris doesn't win. Vote for, if you want to vote Donald Trump.
No, I don't know if black people holistically have told you. We done with that holding hands and being side by side and going against the grain. That's over. And a lot of y'all thought it was a joke. A lot of y'all thought it was a game after the election. Everybody from that movement was like, oh, that's just black people online. That don't represent the whole black community. You sure about that now? Because they saying it in real life too. Real bad. Again, you want any type of black solidarity, any type of black anything, you need to clock that anti-blackness. We've been telling y'all this for 6-7 months, and you guys still continue to not listen. You called a black woman outside of her name, and then you try to justify it by saying she's a war criminal when she ain't. She was just the vice president of the United States of America. You're a misogyny, and your anti-blackness is why you didn't vote for her. You sat here and said out your mouth, I'd rather vote for Satan himself than vote for Kamala Harris. Well, Satan is in the office now. He's in the White House now. Now what? Now what? You sitting here talking about some, in order for, if you really want to be a revolutionary, you're telling black people, you as an Arab man is telling black people, if you want to be a true revolutionary, you can't sit here and play the two-party system. You don't even go to Trump rallies and disturb their peace. Hell, matter of fact, most of your people don't even attend Trump rallies and protest them. How you gonna sit here and tell black people how to be revolutionaries? Y'all on y'all own. Dead ass.
gentle reminder. If you are a Palestine supporter, if you don't support the black community, or you're racist towards black people, or you talk crap about black people, Palestinians don't want you. The liberation of Palestine is not just about Palestine, it's about liberation for all people. So if you're racist at all, we don't want you. I will acknowledge that Arabs can be very racist towards black people. I'm Arab myself. It's a known fact, and it's very embarrassing. So if you're racist towards black people, Palestine doesn't want you, nor do they need you.
I'm a pro-Palestinian supporter, and I live in a swing state in America. And I thought I would share with you how I'm voting this election. I have felt extremely disillusioned from our democracy, and I had decided that I was not going to vote this election. I have been uncommitted, and though I was a registered Democrat, I believed that I was not going to vote. However, I live in a swing county in a swing state, and I am very aware that every vote counts. And I feel very irresponsible not going out to vote on Tuesday. Now, if I lived in a location in the US that was not a swing state, I would go out and cast my vote for Jill Stein and the Green Party. I feel like her policies most align with my belief system. However, as I stated, I believe it might be irresponsible to cast that ballot in a swing location.
I have felt very disillusioned from the Democratic Party in particular this past year because of their disgusting stance on the genocide in Gaza. However, if I look at Donald Trump and I listen to his rhetoric, I know that his presidency would be even worse. I believe that he would allow Netanyahu to do anything that he wanted, as he's doing now, and I think that he would support even more genocide and even more destruction in the Middle East. Though I am not pleased with the Democrats, and I am absolutely disgusted with their policy on Palestine, I think that our best chance is to continue with a Democrat in office. Now, of course, there's so many other policies to consider when considering the candidates that we have. But for me, I think on Tuesday I'm going to cast my vote for Kamala Harris. And I thought I would share that with anyone who was on the fence or considering not going to the polls.
You don't want to.
Kamala was not saving anybody. You have no reason to feel betrayed for nobody voting for Kamala. Nobody owed you a vote for Kamala. You do not get to disengage from politics or support the deportation of Hispanic people or the colonization of Palestine because Kamala lost. I'm glad she lost. I'm happy she lost. I hope the Democrats never win again. If you were having conversations about whether or not the Palestinians are prejudiced and expecting perfect victims during an act of genocide, you are not helping. You are the problem.
I came home the day I met Trump, and I gave my son a MAGA hat, and I said, I guess we're there. And he said, ew. His first words to me were, ew. I said, but Baba, he said he's going to stop the war. And he said, okay, that's it. Give me that hat. We're voting for Trump. And that's the sentiment, not just of an 8-year-old, but of an entire community.
This. And I'm a selfish, and I can only think about myself. And why didn't they vote for Kamala in the election?
This. During the trip, it felt like some people were too busy playing Oppression Olympics to fully grasp the experiences of Palestinians living in Palestine.
And this.
Literally could not see past your own. I don't care how oppressed you are in this country. I'm sure people are going to come over and say, yes, me, I'm saying this. I don't care how oppressed you are in this country. Nothing justifies genocide or arguing to not only support an administration that is doing a genocide, but give up a leverage that costs you nothing. It costs you nothing.
Are all the same message. And they have been the same message the entire time. And if you couldn't see how problematic these messages were when they were coming out, you need to reflect on that. And I suggest you reflect offline, because you're probably going to feel defensive. You're probably going to be mad. And because you could not recognize the issues in the first place, you're not going to be able to recognize your own anti-Blackness. So I'm telling you, shut up, reflect offline, have those big ass fucking feelings that are going to come out offline, and then maybe craft an apology for whatever the fuck you said back then when you couldn't recognize it, when you couldn't recognize the fucking problem, when it fucking mattered.
Hi guys, welcome back again to my channel. It's so good to have you. Thank you so much for clicking when you saw this video. So I came across all these videos on my FYP, and I tend to share with you guys. You guys already know what's been happening with the whole Palestinian movement, and these guys who voted solely for DJT, and a lot of them were saying that do not vote for Kamala is this and that, she's the reason why they are still having this fight in Gaza and all of that, and how Trump was going to stop the whole war and all that, and now they are all angry at the same time, and they're not also happy that black people are not supporting the whole movement and all that. But I'm just going to let these videos roll, then we come back and talk more. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and do give this video a thumbs up so that more people can see it. And credit to all creators on this video. Let's go watch, then I will come back with the commentary. Let's go.
What Trump is proposing is the ethnic cleansing of 2 million Palestinians. Millions of Palestinians who are the descendants of those who were expelled from their land in the Nakba in 1948. The Palestinians have resisted Israeli...
To all of you who are blaming us Arabs for Kamala losing, I'll tell you this. Kamala had everything already. All she had to do was stop sending billions of dollars to a foreign country. All she had to do was listen to the people, and she refused to do so. She shut down her voices time and time again. What did you think was going to happen? She's a grown woman. She made her choice, and she dug her own grave, and that's it. It has nothing to do with us. particularly Palestinian voices, were even talking about not endorsing the red and blue parties. And what do? Some of you? You vote for the parties that are hurting them in the first place. Did Palestine teach you nothing, or do you just not care about them?
The second phase of the Gaza ceasefire was supposed to begin today. What happened instead is Netanyahu met with Trump to lobby his approval for another arms package to continue the war in Gaza. Again, negotiations for phase 2 were set to begin today, and they were postponed by Netanyahu until after his trip to Washington, leaving many outraged and wondering why. Well, we don't have to wait for the answer because Trump has just officially requested congressional approval for a new arms sale to Israel worth up to $1 billion. The proposed package, no doubt requested by Netanyahu himself, includes 4,700 1,000-pound bombs valued at over $700 million. It also includes armored bulldozers valued at over $300 million. And of course, after this request, Donald Trump told reporters that there is no guarantee that the ceasefire in Gaza will hold. Hamas has told the mediators in Egypt that they are ready to negotiate for phase 2. The only holdup is Netanyahu and Donald Trump. Because this ceasefire was never meant to hold. It was always meant to give Israel more time to rearm.
Vote for Jill, vote for Donald Trump. But do not give a vote to Kamala Harris and expect to be welcomed by my community.
Palestine is central for some voters to decide how to cast their vote in the polling booth. But with war raging in the Middle East, can Kamala Harris convince some of them to back her campaign?
Do either of the candidates have a voice that you can ally yourself with?
None of the major candidates, absolutely not. They're both the same.
She says words such as self-determination, and too many Palestinian lives have been lost, as if there is a number that's acceptable. And I don't understand how my people's lives are lost, as if they can't be found, instead of them being deliberately targeted by the very weapons that she continues to fund and to send.
There isn't much of a difference between him and Kamala Harris. But I do know one thing. If Donald Trump was president while the genocide was going on, you'd have a lot more Democrats with the backbone willing to call Donald Trump a war criminal for allowing it to happen.
There's an argument to say that if the Arab American, Muslim American voter base in Michigan doesn't turn out for Harris, that could create a path to a Trump presidency. How does that make you feel?
You know, it doesn't make me feel any way. I think that the Democratic Party should be punished for supporting this genocide, and I know that a lot of people will vote for Trump because they want to punish the Democratic Party because, you know, especially in Dearborn voted Democrat the last election, and it's been a disappointment to the people. The Democrats did nothing but let down the Arab American and Muslim American population. They did not listen. They are not listening to what we want, what we're saying. We've been, protesting the streets all over the United States, and Kamala Harris removed a Muslim from, her rally, and I just think that, she should be punished. The Democratic Party.
So now there are Palestinians who voted for Trump, now regretting their vote. You ain't gotta take it from me. Watch this clip, and you know what? I am not gonna be back to make commentary. All I gotta say is, this is what they voted for. And now you're disappointed. And I just don't understand why you all honestly believe that man after he has told you and he showed you. That's all I'm gonna say. What's done is done. Let's go.
Days before the last presidential election, Donald Trump was the invited guest at the Great Commoner restaurant in Dearborn, Michigan. Albert Abbas says he extended that invitation, a decision he is now reflecting on given all that has happened in the last 24 hours.
Many in the community are at a loss for words. Last night was a very rough night for most of us.
Abbas is Arab American and one of a number of Democrats who voted for Trump. Abbas says he hoped Trump would do more than President Joe Biden did to help Palestinians suffering in Gaza.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip.
But after Trump said Palestinians should leave Gaza so it can be redeveloped, Abbas says not only does he feel betrayed, he's hearing from a number of people angered over his past support of Trump.
People were really frustrated, and I don't think there's anyone to blame. At the end of the day, as Arab Americans or Muslims, we really didn't have much of a choice.
Dearborn, a Detroit suburb, is home to the largest Arab American population in the United States, a community which helped Trump carry the critical swing state. He won 42% of the vote in Dearborn versus Vice President Harris with 36% and Jill Stein with 18%. In 2020, Biden handily carried the city with 69%. Faye Nimmer voted for Trump in 2024 out of frustration over the previous administration's support of Israel. Now, she is troubled by the president's proposal to move Palestinians out of Gaza.
I mean, it's very concerning and it's infuriating.
Personal feelings, you're infuriated, but standing by your decision for now to have voted for Trump.
Correct.
And what would move that needle for you to say, you know what? I made a mistake.
Palestine is the red line for this community.
Nimmer says she suspects Trump is bluffing and is using his proposal as some sort of negotiating tactic. That's the same sentiment shared by Amar Zar.
First, this is clearly not going to happen, right?
And real estate broker Ali Alfarajala.
A lot of people are calling me and texting me saying, hey, you know, how did your vote work out? You know, how was that third party vote?
Both were so-called protest voters. Neither supported Trump or Harris. Are there any sort of second thoughts now about having supported a third-party candidate?
Absolutely not. And I'll still do it again and again and again.
I didn't vote for Trump. So a protest vote, I don't know. I would say it was a targeted vote of conscience to say that the children of Gaza have to mean something. Their death has to mean something.
And while Arab Americans here were divided in the past, going forward, one point is uniting them: opposition to Trump's proposal to move Palestinians out of Gaza.
The community will be unified. I will tell you this. The Palestinian people would rather die and live in a demolition site than to be ethnically cleansed and being sent out of Gaza to Egypt or.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Furaha. If you're joining us for the first time, thank you so much for choosing to be here today. I'm so happy to have you on my channel. I hope to see you a lot more in the coming days. Now, on today's video, we're talking about these Arabs that are, how do I even call them? Arabs for Trump. Now, during the elections time, during the campaigns, these were the same people that were, advocating for President Trump to be elected, and they had all good things to say about him. They believed everything that they were sold, every dream that they were sold, every promise that was sold to them, they believed in all of that. And they were at the front line of trying to find more people to vote for President Trump. And when black people talked to these people and explained everything to them, trying to make them see sense, in a world where a lot of promises was clouded and people were very confused, as you might have noticed during the campaign season, there was a lot of promises that were given to people, and most of them were actually believing them because they were believable, and they were achievable. It's not to mean that everything that was promised is not achievable. In fact, most of those things were achievable. The only problem came now that people have been voted in and they're not doing the things that they promised the people when they were campaigning. Now, these Arabs for Trump were at the front line and making sure that they garner a lot of votes for him, and they had all this hope that when he gets into office, he's going to take care of their needs. He's going to make America great again, as he always said, So when he got into office and he does not give a mind to whatever is happening to these people. And we're not talking about a president that does not care about Arabs only. He doesn't care about anyone. And we have talked about that in this on this channel a couple of times, that he does not quite care about anyone. He doesn't care whether you're white or black or Arab, whatever. He doesn't just care about anyone. He has his priorities, and his priority is not you people, and it's not even America. He has things that are at the front line of whatever he wants to do, and those people that he cares about are his family, his billionaire friends, himself. And you see, now dealing with someone that is that decided and that doesn't see a problem with his way of approaching things, it becomes so hard for people that elected him, especially because it's a different kind of pain when you're suffering for something that you did not choose, and it's different when you actually went ahead and voted for this guy, campaigned for him, maybe talked to a friend or two to actually vote for this guy, so you are at the front line of making sure that he is president. And then this is how he's treating you, like he does not care about you. He doesn't give his mind to whatever is happening to you. And the economy is bad, the economy is tough. There's a lot of tears everywhere in America right now. White people, black people, Asians, people are just crying all over the place, but he does not care about that. He's not even like paying attention to, there's a way that you can actually see your people suffering and decide that you're going to do something about it. That is not what he's trying to do. Every other time he's just about his businesses. People cry until they finish and he doesn't say anything about it. He's concerned about other things that we do not know about. Yeah, he's doing his business. And most people have actually started talking about, he said that he will rule America as a business. And people actually thought that it's a joke. And now he's showing them what he truly meant when he was saying that. He's running America as if it's a business, as if it's his business. So he's just in the business of making money, and nothing else makes him excited. He's doing things that are just for him or for his friends, and that is enough for him. He doesn't care about the rest of you that are suffering, the rest of you that are unable to afford food, that are unable to afford housing, that are unable to have good medical care because you do not have enough money. He doesn't care about people losing their jobs and people losing their families because they cannot afford the basic needs that they should be having, which is just like basic food, clothing, and shelter. People are talking about not being able to afford groceries. When it gets to a point where you're talking about unable to afford groceries, it has to be really so bad, yeah? But that is not one of the things that he's discussing while he makes his speeches. He doesn't address none of those things because those are not his priorities. And the people of America have to just find a way to cope with this situation on their own, because the people that they elected to fight for them are actually the ones that are actually against them, yeah? And now they have to figure it out, and it's so hard. I totally understand that that is not a situation you want anyone to be in, because then you do not have a reason why you elected him in the first place. He was supposed to be fighting for your rights, for your good, and to make sure that your life becomes better, not worse. And now the situation as it is, it has actually become worse because America has been in a good place for quite some time. Now to think that people are going hungry, people are unable to afford school fees, people are unable to afford housing, they're just like a paycheck away from being homeless. And that is not good news at all. That is not something that you want to even imagine that it's happening. And it is actually facts. It's happening in the real life, and we're not even sure about what will happen tomorrow because now people are in panic mode. Now, the other thing that we need to say about this video is the fact that you as a black person, you as black people, the black community, you have been very supportive of people from the other races. Despite everything that they do to you, you have always made sure to, not get back at them, when they need help and you can assist them, you always come through. And that is just what black people are. That is who they are. and they have been doing this for ages. Now, these are Arabs for Trump. Now, black people talked about these things and they warned these people, you know. We understand and we appreciate and we also respect the fact that you want this guy to be elected as president. But are you paying attention to the fact that he has done this and that in the past? Are you paying attention to the fact that this guy does not care about us? He doesn't care about anyone. He doesn't care about America. Are you paying mind to that? Are you thinking through it? Are you thinking straight before you make that decision of voting for him? Now, they did not listen to black people. And these Arabs, they went ahead and voted him in. Yeah. And he is now in leadership, and they're not liking it. Now they're coming back to black people and complaining about it. They want black people to now stop whatever they're doing. You know, black people say they're resting. Yeah, they're hydrating, they're exercising, they're eating well, they're enjoying time with family and friends. And now these people are coming to talk to black people and say, you know, we messed up, but please help us. Now that is a tendency that people from the other groups have towards black people. They always know that black people will come through. They always know that black people will help them whenever they need help. Now, they do everything that is wrong, everything that black people have warned them about, and then they come back to black people and ask for help as if they were not warned about it before. Now, you as a black person and you as a black community, make sure learn to be selfish with your time, learn to be selfish with your energy. Make sure that you are feeling yourself, you know, you have a full cup before you give to the rest of the people. Make sure that you're not giving from an empty cup. Make sure that you're taking care of you first. Now, these people, you warned them. That is the best, the least you could do, you know. Just let them have an experience of what they decided for themselves, and when time will come when you can help, you can actually chip in and help. But do not frustrate yourselves at the expense of the other people. Do not make yourself go through a lot trying to please other people. You come first. You as a black person, as a black community, as black people, you come first. Yeah. Now, when people are complaining the way that they are complaining and they're coming to you to ask for help, it is sort of disrespect, first of all, because why would you be coming to me for help when I asked you? I just asked you not to do this and you went ahead and did it. And then now when it's harming you, you're coming back to me again to ask for help. It doesn't make a lot of sense. So black people, make sure that you're taking care of yourself first, your interests first, and then you can take care of the rest of the people. Now, guys, let me know what you think about this video. Let me know what you think about these Arabs and how you feel about whatever they are saying. And I will see you on my next video. Bye for now.